Record right there, and then I'll navigate this purple mess. And you just like to think you're so funny, don't you?
You laughed, didn't you?
You got me. I did fucking laugh. That was for sure. All right.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
What are you welcoming them to, Josh?
Hidden Oaks Overdose, podcast number 13.
I believe so. Lucky number 13. Yep, this is a Hidden Oaks Overdose football fix podcast. Josh, that is correct. At the top of the show, I'll always remind you, don't forget to engage the show. Our email is hiddenoaksoverdose@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is Hidden Oaks Overdose : football fix, or at hoodpod, all one word. I don't know how that works out, but it's supposed to work out like that. Yeah. Josh, how are we doing today?
It's all right. Long flight in from Buffalo. Had a detour to Arizona after the Thursday night game. They asked me to come in on Saturday. Showed up, offered me a job, didn't even have to do anything. They said something about having two feet, two hands, good to go. Asked me what to do. I just said, give the ball to DJ. And they said, absolutely, you're hired. But turns out I don't want to play for Arizona.
Give me a half an hour. I'll crap the booze out, have a mint, good to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One other thing I put down as a note, but I didn't do yet. I did it at the end of the show this week, so switch up. We'll do it at the beginning of the show this week. We'd like to say thank you to our listeners, which is one Mr. Ryan Walters, one Mr. Eric's Sequestrian, just so Josh doesn't fucking correct me. It's like Kesteris or something like that. One thank you to one Mr. Eric Landvik, if you still listen. Thank you to Mrs. Jamie Morissette. She did text, I don't know if you remember this, Josh, at the very end of the podcast this week, I threw out a code for Jamie to text me or put on Facebook. She texted to me last night.
Wow.
The penguin has indeed landed. And so, Jamie, your code for this week is... Just kidding. I'm not going to give it to you fucking 2 minutes into the show. That's cheating. You'll have to listen. But yeah. So thank you to our listeners. And
wow, you've got one.
What's that?
My wife.
Oh, holy shit, Josh. I am going to get fucking reamed.
Yes, you
by the
are.
time she listens
wow.
to this. Oh, my God.
Thank you for listening, lovely Nikita Mitchell.
See, what we should never admit on air is that this was all a ploy for you to look really good in front of your wife, for me to forget her, and then you to be the knight in shining armor.
Obviously. Is that everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure other people listen, but...
We get it! We get it!
Was that 5? Is that a full technical handful?
That is, we have a handful of listeners.
Sure. I know Jordan Bates listens on occasion, but I can't remember the last time I heard about it, so...
Yeah, no, I mean... You know what they say, when you have a handful of things, it's usually a good thing.
Like a handful of nails or a handful of bull testicles.
Problems, good things.
Yeah. Josh, so I understand how you were. How did last week's podcast go for you? Obviously, we weren't here in Valhalla Studios, Big Lake Studios, whatever you want to call it. Did you enjoy
Valhalla Studios?
Oh, for sure. We got Odin right there, the Norse god, Valhalla, that's where he's going to go to rest.
I guess. But that's after he saves the world with the Avengers.
Sure.
I mean, last week was fine. I mean, I played Xbox on mute while we were podcasting.
I believe it. I would believe it.
Yeah. Other than that, how are you, Gar?
Oh, Josh, thank you.
How was hurricane relief in Florida last week?
Yeah, all the hurricane relief went good. We were able to clean out many of their aluminum cans, a lot of Busch Light, Bud Light, and Michelob Ultra. We cleaned out those cans good. We made sure to recycle them. So we were there picking up some trash. And then at the end of the week, I picked up all my family, which is trash, and made sure to bring them out of the state. So a lot of hurricane relief. There wasn't a whole lot of trash or devastation by the pool, but I definitely made sure to check out the pool real good. And yeah, so I made sure that area was secure.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole reason I asked you about last week's pod was because, Josh, we're going to have to do it again next week. I will be out of state yet again.
So, Mr. I want to keep it a regular thing.
Oh, we did it last week, didn't we? Does that not count?
It counts. It was awful.
Was it?
Nikita said it was trash.
Oh,
when she
Nikita.
listened to it, she said it was the sound quality was garbage.
I mean, I should have sounded the same. Maybe Nikita just doesn't like how I sound.
Well, I mean, I think she was talking about my voice particularly.
Yeah.
And she married me, so she knows how bad it was in the first place.
Josh, I have a proposition for you. You can just do the podcast with your wife next week if you want, but I have to be in Charlotte, North Carolina for work, so. I know, I got a new job.
What?
I know.
When did this happen?
I got the offer right before I skip town to Florida, and I start next Monday. Well, I fly out on Sunday. I had to do a week of training in North Carolina, but so
North Kakalaki?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna visit Titan?
I am. I've been texting him about it.
Nice. So, what are you doing?
I don't know yet. I haven't got an itinerary.
Well, what's the job?
Oh, so my technical title is a business process engineer, but I will be a consultant with a firm called Kiat.
Kia?
Kiat.
Kia?
No, not Kia.
Kia and Kiat. So Fiat and Kia had a baby?
Sure.
You're a car salesman?
Yes, that is correct. No, but so basically what I'll be doing is I'll be going around to the firm I'm working at, which I don't want to disclose, but I'll be going to that firm. I'll be asking people what they do all day and then tell them where they suck and why they suck. So sounds like a pretty good job for me, if you ask me.
Does that mean I'll have to take over the main responsibilities of note-taking for our podcast from here on out?
You mean what you already do every single week?
Yes. Can I get a pay raise?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll allow you to accept this position then.
I will give you your I will take your salary and times it by 4. That's how much I believe in you, Josh.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Make it 5.
5 times? All right, Josh, you have a hard bargain, but I will increase your salary 5 times. You are worth it.
All right. So moving on, 20 minutes into the podcast.
I know. You're not a good math expert, are you?
I mean, I can count.
Okay, so just so you know that 0 times whatever number I say is still going to be 0, right?
Oh, no, I make money.
Okay.
I mean, if I do this at my job, technically I make money while I do this. So you promised 5 times, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. 5 times what I get paid to do this. And I get paid somewhere around $42 an hour.
Must be nice.
Well, give or take $42 an hour.
There you go. Yeah. So just going down the agenda here, that was a very long chit chat. But non-football news, Josh, you've already seen it. I put it on the Facebook story as well for our podcast. My computer screen is all pink and purple for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. But that's annoying. Childhood movies part 2, Josh. A couple weeks ago, I talked to you about not going back to watch your childhood movies. I did it again. I'm currently watching Hot Wheels World Race, which is a poorly animated movie that I was nuts about as a kid. It had 4 follow-up movies that I all watched on VHS tape. Or no, maybe it was DVD at this point, but terrible movies.
So you're that kid who lives out in the country whose family says, don't touch the electric fence, it'll shock you. So you touched it when you were 13, it shocked you. Yeah. Touched it when you were 14, it shocked you. A couple years later, you come back, I should probably not touch this. So you put your pecker on it, and you touch it. That's you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I understand who I'm working with right now.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, what the fuck's this podcast about again? Would we talk about football? Or do we just talk about us being fucking idiots?
A little bit of both, I think, because if you want to, once we get to our stud dud prediction, we'll see.
Yeesh, that is correct. All right.
NFL news. I've got NFL.com pulled up, ready to go. They want us to watch the Dolphins versus Texans on Thursday night. Good luck with that. They have trade probability machine. Not going to worry about that. Griffin is back. Off-field issues bigger than football. I think that's something that we should. We could spend a lot of time talking on. Obviously, spent time talking on it when he took his leave of absence, but it's great that he's back. I'm happy he's okay, even if he is a rival.
Thanks, Josh. The Sack Daddy appreciates it.
Jenkins, based on Jaguars tape, Cap deserves a job.
Based on Jaguars tap? Is that what you said?
I read Cap and tape at the same time.
I like it.
So, yeah, they think that going from Bortles, who's as inaccurate as a drunk man trying to piss on a street corner, should be replaced with Kaepernick, who is just as inaccurate as Bortles. Good, I guess, Jenkins. John Gruden, the same man who said we will never trade Khalil Mack, says certainly I don't see us trading Carr. Take that how you will. Eric Weddle, Cam Newton is like a fast dinosaur. Didn't know dinosaurs were slow. Amari is thrilled to get the fresh start with Cowboys. He wants it to be known that only the second worst receiver that this team has held, seeing as him and Des Bryant were the only receivers last season to have more than 13% drops. Patrick Peterson aims to be a Cardinal for years to come, even after he announced he wanted a trade. Some games got flexed, and then the Green Bay Packers are the greatest team in existence. Wow,
that's an NFL.com headline, huh?
Wow, sure.
So yeah, you care about any of those headlines, Josh? Any emotional reactions? Any personal?
No,
reactions?
like I said, it is good that Everson's back. I mean, obviously he's a great player for Minnesota, so it makes Packers a little bit tougher, but it's never fun to have that sort of a situation at hand. And so I'm sure everybody's happy, and obviously he has a long ways to go. Who knows if he plays this week? Who knows if he plays next week? But the fact that he's cleared to come back to football, it's not a bad sign. And you did say that there's more to come, so hopefully they can start this process of mental health issues with the rest of the NFL, because you do know that there are Jets fans out there, right?
Wait, there's fans of the Jets?
Yes.
I call bullshit.
Right. No, that's where this mental health issue needs to start progressing, is curing people of that disease.
Of Jets fandom.
Yep.
I like how you take a real serious, like, heartwarming issue. You're like, yeah, fuck you, Jets fans. I like that. I like that swerve there.
Well, gotta keep it, light. Oh.
No, I appreciate it. So no big reactions there. Le'Veon Bell, still gone. He was supposed to report this week. Now it's rumored he reports next week after the trade deadline. I don't fucking know if that'll be true or not, but
I mean, yeah, it was reported he reports week 1 before the season starts. Then week 2.
Was it? No, that wasn't reported like that. Nah.
Yeah, they said he'd come back week 1 at first. I don't know. Guys with Twitter handles that have the blue check mark. I'm sure I could find some people that have blue check marks that said that.
There you go.
But yeah, no, he's still gone. It's honestly probably smart of him to wait until then, because then he can sign his tender, get paid, and then stay on the Steelers. And then, yeah, who knows from there. Makes owners of Bell a little bit kind of wary, I'm guessing, just because once he does come back, I wonder what he's going to do, if anything.
True. I mean, the dude's stand up for what he believes in, though. I think I saw it on Reddit yesterday. He's already forfeited $6.8 million, which is more money than I'll make in my entire lifetime. So, I mean, hey, man, if you can throw away that kind of money, good for you.
Must be nice. NFL Trade City.
That's exactly what I was going to say. NFL Trade City, Josh. We got Eli, not Manning, Eli Apple going over to the Saints.
The best Giant named Eli. Gone.
True.
And he was garbage.
We got Carlos Hyde. I know there's another trade in there, but I forget.
Amari Cooper to Dallas.
That's what it was. Mm-hmm.
There was also a few different miscellaneous ones that I'd seen. Offensive linemen. I think it sounds like the Raiders and the Giants are just imploding, seeing who they're competing for that first overall.
Yeah, they're just selling off whatever they got.
Exactly.
Fire sale.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really all I got. Any reactions to the trades that you'd seen?
No,
any big trades that you think might happen? Do you want to toss out a prediction of a trade that you think is going to happen?
Well, so no, not really.
No spice takes? No spices?
No, I do like my spice takes, but I don't know enough about NFL personnel. I mean, in theory, the Raiders or the Giants or whoever's already imploding this season would want to sell another player for a draft pick, or trade another player, I guess technically, but obviously get whatever value they can. The trade deadline's not till next Tuesday, and obviously that's why these trades have been kicking up the last couple weeks. But I don't know. I'm guessing 2 more trades happen, or at least 2 more noteworthy trades, but I couldn't fucking tell you who those will be.
I agree. I think there'll be a couple marquee players, some fantasy relevant trades that happen in the next week. So it'll be interesting to see. I've seen Randall Cobb's name pop up a little bit on the Packers subreddit. But
I think I saw Demaryius Thomas at one point. I don't know if that was real or not.
And that got kind of pulled back as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe not players, but do you have any positions that you think teams will trade for?
I mean, offensive linemen are always hot commodities. But I mean, there's running back hungry teams out there, like the Eagles are probably going to be making a play for whatever running back they can, just like they did with J.J. last year. But no, I mean, having a good running back seems to be crucial in the NFL, and the Vikings aren't doing it, so maybe you don't need it, but who knows?
What about Jaguars getting a new QB?
No, I mean they should maybe, but I don't think they will.
Well, they have a first-round draft pick. Packers have a starting quarterback as their backup, Deshaun Kaiser.
So Deshaun Kaiser becomes the starter of the Packers, and the Packers trade away Aaron Rodgers for 16 first-round picks.
I like where your head's at.
I bet you do.
All right, let's get into the next section here. Week 7 NFL results, team records.
Yeah, buddy.
Is there a reason you want to bring up the team records this week instead of any other week that we've talked about them?
No, I mean that's always been the title of the segment, Josh. We've just never really mentioned it. I mean, I figure we'll mention it more and more as we get closer to playoff season. Maybe next week, when we're at the halfway point, would be a good time to just kind of give a snapshot of where teams are at. But no, nothing in particular about records this week. I didn't take any notes on it. So, Josh, let's talk about that Packers bye week. How did that go? Did the Packers win? Did they lose?
They did well.
They did. No major injuries or setbacks as Aaron Rodgers went from the fridge to the couch and back and forth for the week, or
no? He has Danica to do that. She crashed a couple times, but
Jesus,
it happened. I guess big things is that it gave time for people to come back. So the last 2 weeks been without our backup or our second and third wide receiver. So we've been rolling out some rookies, and so Cobb and Allison are back at practice. It looks like, and then Brashad Breeland, the corner that we picked up, who didn't play the week before the bye after we got him, he was practicing. He's back. And then Jair Alexander was back at practice. So there's a bonus to the bye week at week 7. So I'm not going to complain about that. How was the Vikings game, Garlic?
Well, we won. We played the good old Jets, 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 and we beat them 37-17. The game... If you watch that game, it certainly didn't seem that close between quarter 1 and quarter 3, or it didn't seem like that much of a blowout between quarter 1 and quarter 3. It was actually pretty close. I thought at any point the Jets could have came back, and within at the end of quarter 3 into quarter 4, we scored 17 points and kind of ran up the score there. But no real complaints. I think Tay Train did okay, serving that role he needs to. I think Kirk Cousins did okay. I don't believe he threw a pick. At least I don't remember off the top of my head. Obviously, Kirk Cousins' awareness, that's kind of like his bugaboo, if you will. His awareness is not great, especially from the blind side. But overall, I think it was a good team win. I think the defense played good. Again, we played the last 2 weeks. We've played the Cardinals and the Jets, so everyone's freaking out our defense is back. I don't think that's true.
Back-to-back rookie quarterbacks.
Exactly. So we'll see once we play the Saints this week. We'll see if our defense is actually good or not. But yeah, I mean, it's always good to get a win. It puts us at 4-2-1. So yeah. Do you have any thoughts, Josh? I assume you watched the game, maybe not.
I mean, I watched it. It was on TV. I agree. I agree with almost all of your takes. I remember one sack in particular where the announcers were just ripping Cousins.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were taking the snap from like the 5 or the 7 or something, and Cousins like dropped back, almost took a safety. Like that arguably could have been a safety. I guess I don't know how the rules work out, but his knee like went down like on the goal line. So
I think it was where the ball was. So
okay.
It was on the 1. He wasn't in the end zone with the ball, or the ball wasn't in the end zone. But yeah, his awareness isn't there. His timing is awful. It sounds like. Obviously, that's just it's not awful, but his ability the clock in his head is what they kept referencing, and he does hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he needs to. But so does Rodgers. I'm not going to deny that.
Sure.
There's a lot of quarterbacks like that. It's just what they can do once they get hit, and so. Yeah, there's that. Rodgers has his fumbling problems from time to time when he gets sacked, and so it's not obviously Cousins is a little bit more known for it, but overall he was serviceable. They were just very concerned with the tips of his balls, and how it was almost like listening to like audible erotica, because it was all they talked about was his tip and his balls, and I was a little confused at first, but they said something like the last 2 weeks combined he's thrown 15 tipped passes or something like that. It's like a ridiculous number, and I remember it happening, but it's just holy cow. Is he Drew Brees size? Is he only 6 foot tall?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it did happen a lot in the Cardinals game. Obviously, I'm guessing their defensive coordinator, whoever their D-line coach, whoever's watching tape was like, all right, Cousins, all right, look at Cousins. He's throwing these balls low, or the offensive linemen suck. I know it's not just Cousins. The offensive linemen are supposed to be able to help with the D linemen's hands as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't I'm not an NFL player, Josh. I never played football, especially not quarterback. So I don't know if there's a good solution to that. Obviously, it's a troubling issue because eventually one of those are going to get tipped like straight up in the air, and a defensive lineman's going to catch it, and they're going to go Linval Joseph on her ass or return it like 60 yards or whatever.
VJ Raji.
The freezer?
The freezer.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not great, but I don't know what the solution is. I know the offensive linemen are supposed to help Kirk out, but at the same time, if you're throwing a 3-yard pass or you're throwing to someone in the flat or running a crossing route, that's not a ball you're going to put a lot of touch on, because the more you let that ball hang in the air, the more likelihood it's going to get picked or
maybe you should try
bobbled or whatever else. What's that?
Maybe you should try it. Has he ever considered just rearing back and throwing it as high as he can in the air and see what happens?
He's got Latavius Murray out here in the flat, like 3 yards from him. He just boom straight up in the
50
air.
yards straight up. See what happens.
Yeah, I think I texted you that too. I was like, I don't know what the guy's
It almost
supposed
worked
to
for
do.
Joe Webb in the playoffs a few years back.
Fuck off, Josh. No, but yeah. So yeah, it's not great. And I'm sure all the defensive coordinators around the league, I'm sure the Saints will be swatting balls as well, but I don't know what to do about it. Right? As of yet, it hasn't been a major problem. So
Nope. So yeah, if he fixes it, it shouldn't be, like you said, a big deal. All right, locks and upsets. Let's talk about.
You want to talk about any other notable games first, Josh? I've already accepted this is going to be a longer podcast, so I'm not going to try and force us to rush it along.
All right. Notable games. It would be very helpful if I had the schedule pulled up. How you asked me
are you in the agenda, Josh? I put a link right fucking there in the agenda.
Yeah, but then
okay, well,
internet connection,
I'm sure you watched.
my eyes.
I know we watched the Thursday night game because you were fucking texting me back and forth about that. That was the Broncos-Cardinals game where the Broncos de-fucking-stroyed the Cardinals. We won't have to talk about it in great depth.
This is a Safe for Work
45-10.
podcast. We're not going to discuss that travesty of an offense that Arizona decides to roll out every week.
Let's just say their bums might be sore in Arizona after that one. How's that?
The Denver defense was a better lead wide receiver than the entire Arizona wide receiver core. They had 2 touchdowns on 3 catches.
Emmanuel Sanders was a better quarterback than Josh Rosen.
Well, yeah, that was before the game.
Okay, you got me. No, but yeah, that game was just an absolute blowout. Anyone who watched it was like, holy fuck. I know I was playing against Emmanuel Sanders and the Broncos D in one of my leagues, and I was down 50-0 by the end of Thursday night. I was like, good fucking God.
Yep, I was playing the defense in our league, the redraft league. But anyways, yeah, it was ugly. That defense, the Denver defense, not what they used to be. They've got Von Miller, who gave a pregame speech that I guess was pretty nice. And so that was, that's nice. You can't do much better than Von Miller. Khalil Mack is probably his equal, if not just a little bit less. But he's a stud. And then
Wait, did you just say Khalil Mack is less than Von Miller?
I said his equal, if not a little bit less.
All right.
Just because he,
Sure.
Von Miller has that Super Bowl MVP in his closet.
It's true.
But so they're both, obviously you wouldn't argue with either one of them on your team.
No, absolutely not. No, Khalil Mack, I don't know. You're not as good as Von Miller.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with EJ Henderson. Thanks, though.
Right.
No.
But yeah, so that defense stepped it up in a big way for them. As a DJ owner, I was very frustrated, but then Mike McCoy getting fired was actually kind of a bit of a relief. I know I texted you about that, and you're like, who cares?
Well, it seems great on paper, but it doesn't. It literally doesn't mean any transformation until you see it. So
right, but it's still new offensive mindset going to take over, kind of tell everybody what to do. Byron Leftwich was there with Bruce the Tomato Face Arians, and so it should be hopefully it's reminiscent to the 2016 season, where all they do is on the play sheet. It's similar to what what's his name, Musgrave had in Minnesota. Handball left, handball right, handball middle. But let's avoid handball middle because DJ's had 95% of his carries up the middle, and they have amounted to nothing so far.
It's true. So yeah, other games. The early game was the Chargers-Titans game. Obviously, if you watched that one, it came right down to the end. Titans went for 2, didn't get it, so the Chargers won there. Otherwise, good game, fun game to watch. Little defense, little offense was a good mix. Patriots-Bears, that one was an exciting one. Came down to the last second as well. Hail Mary to one Mr. Kevin White. Josh?
The glass man.
The glass man, indeed. Almost got into the end zone, though. Couldn't quite get it done, but that was an exciting game to watch for sure. I'm not upset at all that I picked the Bears to upset that one. Even though they didn't. Colts, Bills. Bills are a dumpster fire this year, so they're a good candidate to trade someone away. Maybe Shady does go somewhere. Lions, Dolphins. Lions get a win. I didn't know who won that game until just now. Panthers, Eagles was exciting. Browns going to overtime fucking again. Jaguars are garbage. Justin Tucker misses an extra point to lose the game for the first time since high school. So that's fucking awesome. Cowboys get fucked allegedly based on a penalty. Chiefs win. Falcons, Giants. I didn't even watch that game, but
I didn't either. I mean, it looks like it was close, 20 to.
Yep, 23-20, yeah.
But I think it was because the Giants scored on like the last drive and to bring it there, and then it wasn't, it was game over essentially after that score anyways.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right, we can move on now, Josh. I just want to make sure we talked about other things.
Yay!
All right, locks.
Lock upsets.
Mm-hmm.
Week 7 results. I don't have it pulled up. There we go.
God, fucking damn it,
so,
Josh.
like the last 2 weeks, I guess, because I got my lock and upset right 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
But 3 out of the last 4 weeks, we both get a point.
We just take our locks and that's it. Our upsets are
so,
garbage.
and they're all our locks. And so this week, who do you got?
Well, last week, just to go over the results, Josh, if you're reading the agenda, I took Indy over Buffalo as my lock. An easy lock. Buffalo's a dumpster fire. And then I took Chicago over New England like I talked about a moment ago. So I got my lock, did not get my upset. That's what it was. Josh, who'd you have last week?
I had Kansas City against Cincy, got my lock, and then I had Arizona versus Denver.
What was that? One more time, Josh. Who was your upset?
Arizona over Denver.
Could you imagine if we did the survivor spread like Alex and Walters do? That's negative 35 right there. I guess I don't know what the spread was going into the game.
I think it was 36.
The spread was 36, Josh. Was it?
Maybe.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm happy. I actually proposed that idea like week 2, so I'm really happy we decided against that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to doing what they do on Fox with upsets being 2 points or whatever they do.
Sure.
But, that would have to be done after this week when it's halfway point, yada, 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 because otherwise it wouldn't be fair because I'd have more than you.
Sure. Yeah, so who do you got this week, Josh?
I've got my lock as Chicago against New York Jets.
I think that's a good lock.
And then my upset is Seattle over Detroit.
I think it's like only a 2 or 3 point spread, right?
Yep, and they're in Detroit.
Oh, I see why Detroit gets favored there. Honestly, otherwise you wouldn't think that'd be an upset, but yellow swag. This week myself, I'm taking KC over Denver as my lock again. I shouldn't say again, but I'm taking KC as my lock. I think they just played like 2-3 weeks ago, right? I feel like we just talked about a KC Denver game pretty recently, but I don't remember off the top.
I think they played week 4.
Oh, really? Okay, so there goes my fucking memory. But yeah, I'm taking KC as my lock. Patrick Mahomes, fucking stud. And then as my upset, this is probably more emotional than strategic or logical, but I'm taking Jacksonville to upset Philadelphia. I almost guarantee it won't happen, but I want it to happen, so I'm going to put it down on paper. So if it does happen, I can go. I can play the fucking Woody. We did it. So, you want to believe that Blake Bortles, the guy who.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48 and am what some people call mentally retarded.
That's true. That was really loud.
That was very loud. Sorry, listener.
Yeah. Sorry, listener. But yeah, the Blake Bortles, the same, and obviously it's part scheme, it's part coaching, it's all these different things. But Blake Bortles, the guy who took it to the fucking Patriots, the New England Patriots, and fucking licked them good. Not as bad as the fucking Arizona-Denver game, but I want to believe there's still some fight left in that team, so I'm taking Jacksonville over Philly.
Sounds good.
Oh God, was that you or was that Odin?
That was
fucking
Odin.
Sure it was. Holy shit, that doorknob, bitch! I'm gonna go beat the shit out of your dog.
Good luck.
Yeah,
He's
you're
bigger
right.
than you are.
Odin will kill me. All right, so that's our locks and our upsets. Well, we didn't talk about the leaderboard, but I mean, we keep getting 1 point. I got 7.5 to Josh's 7, so it's real close. I'm technically beat him thanks to the tie early in the season, but yellow swag, 420 blaze, as the kids would say. Josh, preview week 8 for us. Who the Packers play?
The Packers are playing none other than the 7-0 Los Angeles Rams. Should be an interesting game. I think it's going to be extremely close, almost down to the wire, 0-0 until a field goal wins it for somebody.
Yeah.
Zero offense on either of these teams.
Oh, yeah, definitely not going to be a shootout. Definitely not excited to watch the offensive genius mind of Sean McVay go against the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't it no, it's not a Sunday night game, is it? I was going to say, I think it's...
No, Sunday night is the Vikings game.
All right. I was going to say, our only advantage would be if it's a Sunday night game, because by about halftime, that's when Sean McVay's bedtime is.
I appreciate your jokes, sir. But no, yep. It's got to be a 3:00 game then.
It is,
would be
I
my
think.
guess.
I think yeah. But yeah, it should be a good game. I'm excited. I love the Rams, so I'm not opposed to cheering for them in any way, shape, or form. But if obviously I'm going to be rooting Packers the entire way through, and I will be upset if they lose. But I'm just rooting for a good game. I don't want anything that's going to be like the Packers Detroit game or the Packers Redskins game, where it's just the ugly performance on the Packers side. While most of the games this season have shaved off years of my life due to stress and alcoholism, I would be happy with a shootout that ends in like a 7-point win for a team or a 3-point win. So either one of those would make me smile.
Certainly, I can respect that. I don't know, I guess what your attitude is, but when we played the Rams like week 4 or whatever it was in a Thursday night game, I have no problem losing to that team. It's a great team. They're still undefeated up to this point. Their biggest test, I think, is going to be week 11 or whatever the fuck it is when they play KC on Monday night in Mexico City. I'm really excited for that game.
That could be a Super Bowl preview.
Assuming those teams continue doing what they're doing, that should be a great game. But yeah, so I think the Packers game and Rams game will be great, and I'll be sure to tune in. Oh, never mind. I'll be flying through the fucking air when that game's going on, so never mind, Josh.
It's the largest spread of Aaron Rodgers' career, too, so that's fun.
I read that on Reddit as well. But
How about the Vikings game? Who do they lose to this week?
We lose to the Saints this week, Sunday Night Football. I believe Mike Zimmer made the comments like in the locker room speech from last week. It's like next week we got guys who don't think or don't believe we've ever beat them, but we actually beat them twice last year. And so, I mean, obviously, I think the Saints are favored by 1, or the Vikings are favored by 1, whatever it is. It's a very close spread. I think maybe the Vikings are covered by 1 just because we're at home again, are favored by 1.
Yeah, I saw Pick'em on a couple of sites when I was doing the lock upsets, and then I saw Vikings by 2, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. It's a close spread regardless of what it is, but I like the Vikings at home. I've always liked the Vikings at home. So I just hope it's a good game. I think it definitely
Where did the Vikings and Buffalo play this week or that week?
Hey Josh, go fuck yourself. How's that sound, buddy? But I'm expecting a shootout similar to the Rams Packers game. I think there's going to be a lot of offense and hopefully not too much defense to the Saints. Maybe some better defense to the Vikings, but not likely. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'd like to see us win, but losing to the Saints, or I think even before the season started, I picked the Saints to win the Super Bowl this year. So losing to them, I've got no problem.
Any other games you're excited for this week?
Thursday night game blows. Eagles.
What? 4-3 Dolphins at Texans. What?
Yeah, it blows.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Eagles Jags should be fun.
That's in London. That's where Blake Bortles shines.
It's true. Blake Bortles, I don't know if he's undefeated in London, but Blake Bortles is pretty good in London.
He is a London quarterback through and through.
All right. So that should be a good game. That's an early game. You can catch that one at 9. I can catch that before I hop on my flight. Seahawks Lions could be good if the teams show up. Sometimes those teams have like on and off settings. Sometimes they fucking blow. Sometimes they're good. So
Steelers Browns is the game I'm looking forward to. I really hope I can watch that this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really want to see another tie.
Another tie.
Yep. Those fan bases would explode.
It's true. If the Browns go into overtime again, holy shit. But yeah, so that should be a good one. The Browns seem to have the Steelers numbers some which way. Packers Rams already talked about. Monday night Patriots Bills. That should not be exciting at all.
The New England Gordons versus the Buffalo Bills.
The New England Gordons. Josh, you need to hop off. All right. Josh Gordon is not that great, no matter how good you want him to be. He was good, but he's a has-been at this point, Josh. You can stare me down all you want. I'm right. It's that Hannibal Buress meme. Why are you booing? I'm right. Josh Gordon is not that good. Hasn't been this year. Won't be this year. Let's move on to the next segment. I'm going to write down the time while you continue to stare at me. 34 minutes. Josh? Hey, buddy, we got a podcast we're doing here. I know you're trying to be funny, but... How much dead air do you want?
Take it back.
No, I'm not going to take it back. Absolutely not.
All right. I'm sorry somebody who put up 100 yards last week is terrible.
That's true.
Against the Bears' unstoppable defense. Reminiscent of 85.
I never said reminiscent of 85.
Yeah, that's because you don't know what reminiscent even means.
Good.
All right. Yeah, so I guess, there's just a lot of games that look like there's projected to be blowouts this week. So, but the Thursday night game, meh. Yeah, I don't know. Should be interesting. I think our division games are the best ones so far. Yours and then the Packers and the Vikings games are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most, just because of the matchups. General fantasy stuff. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, all right. So now I have to write down a new segment time because you took for fucking ever. But yeah. So I wanted to start talking about the weekly top performers. So just looking at last week, I won't go too deep into it. The number one quarterback in fantasy was Patrick Mahomes, followed by Mitch Trubisky, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, and then Tom Brady. Bring out the top 5. Honorable mention would be Baker Mayfield. Even Eli Manning's up there. So if you had those guys on your teams, you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself. For running backs, obviously, Kareem Hunt was up there. Marlon Mack, a name you probably wouldn't expect to see up there. I'm sure it helped that he played the Bills. But Marlon Mack, the number 2 running back of the week. Todd Gurley, James White, and Saquon Barkley round out the top 5 as well, with Tariq Cohen and Latavius Murray as the honorable mentions. Wide receivers, OBJ had a good week. Emmanuel Sanders, obviously, catching a touchdown, throwing a touchdown is great. John Brown's a beast. Adam Thielen, arguably the best receiver for this season so far, just through his volume. I don't think he's done anything too flashy, but he's getting a lot of volume. And then Jarvis Landry would be the 5th, with Alshon Jeffrey and Tyrell Williams for some reason fucking lighting it up. For tight ends, Trey Burton, Zach Ertz, George Kittle, Josh, have you ever fucking heard of Michael Roberts?
Yeah, he's on the Lions, right?
He is on the Lions.
Yeah, he got 2 touchdowns, I think.
There you go. That's some good fantasy pointage right there when you're getting those touchdowns.
He had 3 catches for 2 touchdowns.
That is correct. 3 catches, 48 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But it was the best. It was good for the 4th best tight end of the week. And then Benjamin Watson would be the 5th. Defenses, Broncos, obviously. Rams are actually pretty good, holding San Fran. Colts, Chiefs, and Redskins. Then probably shouldn't even bother mentioning kickers. Matt Prater. No, fuck you, kickers. But yeah, those were the top performers of the week. If you had those guys on your team, I'm sure you were happy.
I think it's now time for the grain of salt.
It is indeed time for our favorite segment, Josh, the grain of salt. You want to talk about your record first? Do you want me to go?
I am overall 30-19 in my leagues.
Must be fucking nice.
With a combined record of 289 wins and 194 losses against the rest of my leagues. Kind of equals out there. But I am no worse than 3-4 in any of my leagues. Granted, the leagues I'm 3-4 in are 3 of my most expensive leagues, so that's fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm 6-1 in a couple leagues, 5-2, and 4-3.
Roger that. So overall, I am. So last week I went negative again. For the last couple weeks I was bragging. I haven't gone negative since week 2, but I went 2-6 last week. 8 fantasy leagues. It's brutal. I only won in my 2 free leagues, or my free league and my $10 league, technically, or $5 league. It's the one with Josh. So that's not great. Overall, my record for the year is 24-32 now. I don't know. I honestly expected this year to go different. Just because I had a lot of success last year, and so I just whatever my hubris decided that success would carry over to this year. But it's not a great fantasy year for me. I doubt I'll be lucky to make a single championship on my own team. Our Blood, Sweat, and Beers team might be able to make a playoff run, but otherwise I don't have a positive record in any of my leagues. So,
all right. So, stud duds. Now that you've heard how bad we are and probably turn our podcast off,
right.
We're going to get into the part where we give a little bit of our fantasy input on this week. No, you can't have a defense as your stud or dud, Garlic.
Why can't I?
Because defense doesn't matter.
What do you mean defense doesn't matter? Broncos defense got like 25 points last week.
Fine.
What, are you just making up rules as we go, Josh? You seem to be pissed when I do it.
That's because I haven't tried to do it.
Once a fucking podcast, you gotta fucking scream.
All right. Last week, some idiot projected Antonio Callaway to be a stud. I think he had 1 catch for 14 yards.
Couldn't tell you.
Projected Mike Evans to be a dud. Kind of finished about even. And so my overall performance over the last few weeks since we've been doing this, I am negative 16.6 points in my stud prediction, positive 20.8 in my dud prediction.
Yep. So speaking of personal failure, Josh, some fucking dumbass predicted that Corey Clement was going to have a great fucking week. He's projected 12.2. I predicted him as a stud. He got a solid, wait for it, Josh, wait for it, 4.2. So Corey Clement was indeed a dud last week, and Alvin Kamara. I predicted him to be a dud. He did technically get below his projection. I don't know if anyone would call him a dud with 15.6 or 15.5, whatever that is. My screen's hard to read, but he did come in under his projection, so that gives me a couple points there. As far as studs go, Corey Clement really brought me down. I'm now at negative. Well, I mean, I was positive. Now I'm negative 0.8. So I'm about even on my studs, but my duds, I've been. Saquon Barkley really killed me 2 weeks ago. So I'm negative 12 there. So overall, I'm negative. Negative 12. So overall, I'm negative 13 in my differential. So probably should never listen to what I say.
I'm positive 4.2. Now, if you really want to listen to a stud dud performer, it looks like Eric's Equestrian.
Yep, Eric's Kesteris, yeah.
Yeah, Sequestrian. His studs, last week he had Ertz, who finished with a differential of 6. He had 22.8 compared to the 16.8 projections. And then Buck Allen was his dud, who was projected 11.5, and he got 5.4. He's been positive in all 4 of his predictions so far, so he is sitting at a whopping 15.7 combined over the 2 weeks he's participated.
It's true. I'm currently checking Facebook right now just to make sure I don't trash the man, but as of yet, he has not submitted any studs or duds this week. I don't know if he's just trying to go out on top, having 2 good weeks back to back, but we don't have any actually good fantasy advice for you this week because Eric's has not offered it to us. So sorry, folks. I guess you're stuck listening to us, or maybe just do the opposite of what we do and you'll be okay.
Oh, no, I got it this week. I'm ready.
Okay.
Who do you got?
Oh, okay. So
I want you to go first because save the best for last.
All right, so my stud of the week, Josh, you ready for this shit? Controversial according to you. My stud is going to be the Patriots defense. Might be available in some of your leagues if you're possible as a free agent. Pick them up if you can. But they're projected a measly 6.4 in our ESPN league. They're playing the garbage fire of the Buffalo Bills. I'm thinking the Patriots come in at no less than 10 points. I guarantee the Patriots will get like negative 5 points as a defense this week. But you know what? I'm predicting a double-digit finish. So I got the Patriots defense as my stud of the week, Josh. For my dud, OBJ is a very every other week player, and so this is his down week. OBJ is currently projected 19.3. They're playing the Skins, a divisional matchup where I think OBJ could be shut down, not by Josh Norman because he's garbage, but maybe by the safeties or someone. Maybe let's double team him a lot, but I'm thinking OBJ comes in at significantly less than his 19.3, even in a PPR setting. So stud, Patriots D, dud, OBJ.
My stud of the week is an actual player. It's going to be Devontae Adams, who's projected 17.5. And so I'm projecting no shy of 25.
Ooh,
yep.
Woo-hoo,
and that isn't
steep.
a full point PPR. And then my dud of the week, Christian McCaffrey. He's projected 17. I just don't see him hitting 17 this week. I hope he doesn't play, so I'm right.
Well, that's questionable or what?
No, he's not. But yeah, so we've got 1 stud prediction, 2 dud predictions. Go ahead and take it how you want, ladies and gentlemen.
True. Sorry we couldn't give you good advice from Eric's, but he abandoned us this week.
Yep. And then, I don't know. You frequent the old Reddit machine every so often, don't you, Gar?
Every fucking hour, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on Reddit a lot.
Yeah, Odin likes bananas, so you just open a can of worms, buddy.
Can I baby bird your dog?
No, you cannot baby bird my dog despite him wanting it.
I would say he wouldn't give a shit.
So the subreddit for fantasy football has a bold predictions thread every week.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I'll tune in every so often just to see what people say. But this one I had to contribute because it is the bold predictions extra spicy edition. And I like to make it extra spicy. So I had 3. I'm going to read them out loud for you.
All right, let's
and
hear
I
it.
want you to give me a yay or a nay.
Okay.
Remember, it's extra spicy.
Extra spicy.
But the RB with the most fantasy points on San Francisco this week is none other than fullback Kyle Juszczyk, whatever his last name is.
Okay, that's your spicy take. Okay, I'm gonna go nay on that one for sure.
That's one. They're spicy takes, Garlic. Is that spicy or not?
Okay, you told me to give you yay or fucking nay, didn't I, Josh? Yay, it's spicy. Nay, it's gonna happen.
Todd Gurley gets held to 50 total yards. Then after the second drive, he adds 150 more to his total, finishing with a stat line of 203 touchdowns.
All right, I'll give you yay to that one. Dom Capers is gone. They don't know how to stop the run anymore.
Last one. Same game.
Wait, hold on. Is this 200 rushing yards or 200 all-purpose
yards?
Okay, sure, then yeah, for sure.
Last one. Same game. Rodgers throws for 450 plus yards, 5 touchdowns and interception, rushes for 4 times, 30 yards and a touchdown. Hashtag Spice is nice.
I would agree with almost all of that. 450. I mean, obviously there's a spicy takes. I understand what you're doing. I think 450 yards and a total of 6 touchdowns might be pushing it, but I definitely think he could be close to those numbers. So again, a yay on the spice. I'll give a nay on the possibility. If you were to bring those down, if you were to say 400 yards and 4 passing touchdowns, I'd probably give a yay, because I definitely expect that game to be a shootout for sure. But I think you just reached my over under. Like if my limit would be set at 400.
All right. Speed round, this or that.
Are we going to actually speed through it this week, Josh? I kind of fucked it up last week.
Yeah, you did. We can go over our results. All right, that's over with. This week, who do we got? Last week, we both said the Lobster. He finished with a positive 18.8 differential, which is funny because he only scored 17.8 in our league, meaning Derek Anderson scored -1. Tariq Cohen outscored Sony Michel by 19 points. Sony went down in the first quarter, I think one of the first drives.
Your dog fucking smelled so bad.
Ito and Eckler. Eckler killed it. Well, I guess he beat Ito by 5.3, a little bit closer than the last two. Thielen or Diggs. Thielen beat Diggs by 15.4. Diggs was absolutely absent from last week. We both said Boyd. Shepard ended up outscoring him by 16. And then I said Allen Robinson for some reason, and you said TJ Yeldon, and Yeldon outscored him by 16.
That's true. Obviously, we're not keeping a leaderboard of this one, but I fucking smoked you last week in this. Yeah,
and I just want to point out that the first week we did it, all of them were within 3.5, 4 points of each other.
It's true.
Second week we did it, every single person was like 20 points difference. It's like, okay, so I definitely picked some wrong people there. Yeah. This week 8, Breeze or Winston?
I got to go Breeze in that shootout. I don't even know who Winston's playing, but
I had Breeze as well. Latavius Murray or Kerryon Johnson?
I'll go Tate Train.
I went Kerryon. Chris Carson or Adrian Peterson?
Peterson.
I went Carson. Edelman or Baldwin? Right? That's a face I made.
Baldwin.
I went Edelman. We're going opposites.
Wow.
Diggs or Gabriel?
Diggs.
All right. I went Gabriel.
No fucking way. Really? Okay.
Josh Gordon or the Philadelphia running backs as a tandem?
So is it just the two, or is it any Philadelphia running back?
Any Philadelphia running back.
Christ. I'll go Josh Gordon.
Too.
Yeah, no fucking shit. You and Josh Gordon.
I could have gotten Josh Gordon, Randy Moss at his prime, and I would have picked Josh Gordon.
I know you would have.
All right. So that was this or that. We're not going to get into reasons why we picked it because it's a speed round, and screw you if you want to know our secrets to semi-failure / semi-success.
Or you could just text me and ask me. I'm sure I'd guarantee respond to you. But
Redraft Week 7 results.
Yep, this is on to the personal segment of the podcast. So I'll go ahead and now we'll feature our sponsor because this is for our friends. Oh God, that's our nice sponsor, Arnold Palmer. Quick Trip, our other sponsor, was out of fucking Arnold Palmer strawberry, which is fucking bullshit. So I'm stuck with the regular half and half this week. But nonetheless, thank you, Arnold Palmer, for being so fucking delicious.
He says go away.
Arnold Palmer says go away.
Yep, he texted me.
He's dead.
Nope.
Oh, all right. So, Josh, do you want to talk about the redraft league, or do you want to fuck around with Arnold Palmer for a while?
Well, no, we can talk about the redraft league. I'm not too happy with the results this week.
I mean, I lost. Does that not bring a smile to your face?
I mean, we actually lost by almost the exact same differential, except I had 0.1 more points than you in the differential. So,
of course you fucking did.
And I just did that math in my head right now. Okay. Willie beat me by a score of 142.2 to 95.5. Gross.
Yep. Sorry, my computer screen's really rough. Give me 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds to move it to the other screen. All right, so we got Nate loses to Garrett, 101.5 to Garrett's 139.6. Garrett seems to be turning things around. Maybe Nate just had some bye week woes. I believe I remember mentioning that last week, but Garrett gets his second win of the year, buddy. Good for you, man.
Jamie loses to Brad. Brad put up 131.5 to Jamie's 114.9. Sorry, Jamie. Good job, Brad.
Brad, Brady to Shady, he's still doing it. Josh, I'll stop for just a second to make a hot take. The whatever we call the Hidden Oaks Championship, Brad and T. That's going to be the championship matchup. Just you fucking wait.
Okay.
Anyways, speaking of T, that handsome bastard beat me 140.2 to 93.4. Again, my team just fucking blows. T, he's got a stud of a team. I don't have his points for in front of me. I would almost guarantee T is the most points for in the league this year. So
I would not argue with that. T cheats. That's one of the notes I had.
T cheats.
Derek beat Jordan 125.3 to 119.8. Easily the closest matchup of the week.
I'm reading your note. Sorry.
Derek had faith to start Melvin Gordon, even though the Chargers did not.
Mm-hmm.
And he still won.
If Derek's anything like me, that Sunday morning was when I got home from Orlando, and a nice 24-hour car trip from Orlando to Blaine. I would highly not recommend it. But so I got home around 5, 6 a.m. I went to bed, woke up around 10 or 11. Did not realize there was an early game. Did not realize Melvin Gordon was on the bubble, and I had him started in one of my leagues. So I'm guessing that's what happened to Derek. Well, he works Sunday mornings, but I'm guessing he was at work and just got fucked by the game time decision. But yeah, it sucks for that. But you still won, Derek. Good for you, buddy. Last matchup of the week, Hammer takes down Nikita 127.7 to 104.7. Nikita had 5 players on a bye, so she kind of got shafted there. And all 5 are going to be starters this week. And Nikita, with her 104, still outscored 3 people. One of those 3 people was fucking me, Josh. One of the other ones was you. So your wife.
And the other one was Nate.
Your wife beats us.
Yes. Thank you for announcing that on here, so I didn't. She beats us at fantasy.
No, I was going to say, do you want me to call someone for a domestic? I'm sure I know someone.
No, but all 5 of those people that were on bye are starters this week. They were starters the week before, so clearly that's why she's had a low score last week. So I think she can turn it around. I know she's frantic about being 2-5 right now, but I think that she has the possibility of having her team step up and carrying her into the playoffs as a 6th seed possibly.
Mm-hmm. But by the looks of it, Josh, it looks like there were no stinky tinkies this week. Do you get lazy with notes, or there were none? No stinky tinkies.
None.
Not even Jordan.
Not even Jordan's. I was almost certain. And I think he had a perfect lineup to where he played all his players.
Optimum. Okay.
Yeah. There might have been one running back he could have subbed in, but it would have been like 1 point more than what he had scored. So it was like the optimum lineup for him. Can't say that about the rest of us. But,
I mean, I went to 1. I guarantee I went to 1. But
no. So we had some ad drops this week. Nothing too major. Derek adding muscle hamster after the news of Marshawn going down, dropping Mayfield. I added a kicker, and then I changed from the Bills defense to the Cards defense.
I wanted to ask you about that, Josh. You go from one of the dumpster fire of a defense to the other one. Do you really have faith? Is that just a stream? Are you starting the Cardinals defense this week? Or
I am starting the Cardinals defense this week against San Francisco, who only knows how to turn the ball over.
Beat hard is going to fucking beat you hard, boy, let me tell you.
I'm guessing he will. Standings at this point, T alone in first place at 6-1. Derek, Josh, that's me, and Brad at 5-2. Willie, Jordan, 4-3. Those are the top 6 right now, currently in the playoffs.
Yep.
Hammer and Nate, 3-4. Garrett, Nikita, and Jamie, 2-5. And then we've got my co-host, Garlic, in 12th at 1-6.
Dude, so I'm not going to call it. I will call it if I lose next week, which I probably will. But we talked about this before we even started the podcast. I don't know what you want to do, if you want a sound or if you want its own segment. But whatever you're going to do when we decide that teams are eliminated from the playoffs, that's what I want you to do. Whatever that's going to be, because once I'm one. All right, so Josh, you're that's not going to work because I'm on this screen right now. Try that one more time. I mean, that's kind of lame. Can you come up with anything better between this week and next week when I get eliminated from the playoffs? Or
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, my team's a fucking dumpster fire this year. So, like I said, my hot take of the week is certainly going to be, it's going to be a Bradley T Mega Bowl championship, whatever. Yeah. So they'll be taking home that beautiful trophy.
I do want to do one quick thing here since we're already on a longer podcast than usual.
Oh yeah, for sure.
of the teams who are currently not in the playoffs, preferably in your red section, are there any teams you think could become a playoff team?
Between Garrett, Nikita, Jamie, and myself.
I mean, you could include Hammer and Nate. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not excluded, but I want spicy takes. It's spicy Wednesday.
Spicy Wednesday, huh? I mean, so here's my thing, right? We've talked some trash about Jordan before, and not that he has a terrible team, but he is still down there in points for. He took another loss this week, so I think Hammer and Nate will sneak in, and I don't know if that's going to be because Hammer and Nate have better teams necessarily. I just think Jordan's going to take maybe a couple more losses just by playing a better team. I think he snuck out some wins early where he just had a lucky matchup where the points against was low. But, I mean, Hammer won last year, so I guess I'll take Hammer to take that 6th spot away from Jordan. And obviously a lot could change the next 6 weeks or whatever left we got of the fantasy regular season. But so I'll say Jordan falls out, but I won't know. I don't know for sure if that's because the other teams will be better coming in or if it's just because Jordan kind of continues to slide.
All right. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think Nikita has a chance of sneaking in somehow. I like her team. I like my wife. I love my wife.
I was just going to say, Josh, you want to suck your wife's cock any longer here? Or?
No, that's ishy. But yeah, so no, if not, I agree with your take. I think Jordan snuck out some early wins that his points for, I think, was the lowest in the league despite being first place at one point. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Moving on to Hidden Oaks Dynasty, do you want to start us off since we're getting messages galore?
I mean, it was just one message from that we'll feature later, though. We don't have to get into it just yet. But I'm currently writing down the segment start time for our lovely listeners because this is going to be a long one. So please, I mean, I shouldn't be warning you an hour in, but please skip around if you want to. So Hidden Oaks Dynasty League, Josh. We got Kevin versus Josh. Josh was sweating bullets about this matchup. Josh beats Kevin 95 to 89.75.
Yeah, you said I won by 10. Where'd you go to school?
Clean. No, but yeah. So I for some reason I thought Kevin only had 85. Obviously that was not the case. I want
to say the football gods are on my side.
Why is that?
Did you look at the note?
Both Kevin's RBs got hurt early on. His kicker was on a bye and still has left the game early. That is true. And for whatever reason, Kevin didn't start the Chiefs defense. I know that's your stinky tinky. Well, I'm not trying to ruin it, but the Chiefs defense is usually good for a turnover or two. So.
Yep. Nope. And that would have gotten him the win. So thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. I don't know if that was closer. Or, I don't know if the margin of victory is more or less between you and T, whoever almost lost to Kevin more. But a couple close matchups with Kevin here. Kind of scary.
Yeah, totally. The next matchup, not as close. Nate steamrolled Hammer 167.7 to Hammer's 123.1. I didn't put any notes down on there just because it wasn't relevant.
Sure. Yeah, Hammer loses, or Hammer set loses to Nate. Matchup 3, T versus the Gars, the G squared. T beats us 135.5 to 128.45. Yeah, all my wide receivers are just shit in the bed. Bilal Powell goes out, so kind of sucks.
He might be out for his career too.
That's true. Yeah, if you read that news today, Bilal Powell might be out for his career. So I was going to mention this as well. T started Breida, who got hurt, and then he also picked up the San Francisco fullback you featured just a moment ago.
Juice Check or whatever his name is.
Whatever the fuck his name is. And so he was starting a halfback and a fullback, both from the 49ers, as his two starting RB spots, and I lost to that guy. So you're not having a good week if you lose to someone who's starting a fucking fullback in their 30-man Dynasty league. So that wasn't great, but
my guess is T's going to text you at some point if he ever listens to this.
Oh, not a chance.
Well, if I was T, he's probably sitting at home. He's like, oh, he's listed as a running back. I'm going to start him too, just because he's projected, more points on my bench. Because I remember him saying his running backs were abysmal, and they are. I think he has Dalvin Cook and a couple other guys who are hurt or on bye that week. So it makes sense that he started him. Derek beat Willie in the Brother Bowl, 162 to 114.6.
Yep. And then Jalen beats Connor 159 to 145.4. So a closer matchup. I think Jalen and Connor, without even looking at the standings below, I think Jalen and Connor are both are favorites for the playoffs. So I won't make a hot take on who's going to be in the championship just yet, but I definitely see those two guys in the playoffs.
Yeah. The Stinky Tinkies you already covered. Kevin starting the Chiefs defense over Philadelphia.
All right, I'll just sit here and vamp for a couple seconds while Josh tries to not die. How was that agua for you, Josh? You slammed your alcoholic beverage early. I think that's why you're coughing. You're allergic to podcasting without more alcohol, I think.
I think so. I need a steady stream. Yep. So that one, the Gars would have won if they started Tyrell Williams over D.D. Westbrook.
Yeah. Would have got the win there. And then if Connor would have started Andrew Luck or Jameis Winston over Andy Dalton, he would have won. So that's a 15-point spread there. So it kind of sucks when Dalton underperforms like that.
Yeah. Had a couple trades go down. G Squared gets Eckler and Philip Lindsay. Connor gets Ertz and Blunt.
Josh, I don't want to assume things, but I'm guessing you're the one who reacted to this trade in the chat with whatever emote that is. Was that you? Oh, really? All right. Do you have any thoughts on that trade, Josh? I was curious about what your opinion was. I didn't want to ask until the pod.
I think that you got rid of one of the best long-term tight ends for a couple running backs who may not be relevant in a couple years.
I would agree with that take, but I don't have a single worthy RB2, so that's kind of Garrett. Literally, how it unfolded was Garrett texted me Sunday night. He was like, "Man, we need an RB2." So I started looking at rosters, started talking to people, and that's the trade that came out of it. So
you didn't want to make an offer for Lamar Miller or Kerryon Johnson or Elvin Kamara or David Johnson or any of the guys that I've got sitting away? Aaron Jones.
I wanted good running backs, Josh, but also I figured you and I were less likely to do a good/fair deal. I figured we would both have a little too much pride coming into our offers, so I went with someone else.
I would have taken Ertz off your hands.
I'm sure you would have, but would you have done it while trying to rape me as well, like you did T, or
I didn't rape T.
Matt Breida?
Exactly. Other trade: Derek got Ebron, Willie gets Crowell.
Yep.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think that's a pretty fair trade. Derek and Willie, I know they're both huge sports fans. They're brothers, obviously. I'm pretty sure they like to trade back and forth in all their leagues a lot. So
T picked up Kenyon Barner for $20.
Have you heard of Kenyon Barner before?
Yeah, he was on
week?
the Eagles. He was on the Eagles a couple years ago. He did fine.
Did he play for the Eagles a couple years
Not
ago?
a lot.
Would he play left out or what?
I mean, his contract's probably $20.
Okay, I was just
So
saying.
T's paying him what he's worth.
Okay, I was very confused by that. But I mean, obviously T is desperate for running back. I'm surprised he's not out offering more trades. But
well, I mean, he's going to be kind of him and James White are going to be splitting the role there for a while. Well, for at least a week. We don't know how Sony Michel's injury is going to shape out quite yet, it sounds like. Standings, we've got 3 teams at 5-2. Jalen, Derek, and Nate. Apologize for any of the listeners who actually pay attention to this. Nate was listed at 3-3 before this week. Turns out he's 5-2.
Yeah, I did the record, so I fucked up somewhere.
God. Oh.
Yeah, your dog does not smell good.
Connor, Josh, Willie sitting at 4-3. G Squared, T 3-4. Hammer 2-5, and Kevin at 0-7.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly where Kevin wants to be, though. So,
yep. We're gonna rewind to the Redraft League Sidebet.
Ooh, I mean, do you just want to do it at the end of the show at this point, or?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
We're gonna fast forward to the BSB League,
Yep.
where we're gonna talk about the greatest team in this league first, the Hidden Oaks Overdose squad.
You don't want to talk about next week's matchups in the Dynasty League?
We didn't talk about them in the Redraft League either.
Oh, didn't we? All right. Never mind. I'll fuck off. My bad.
We're bad at our job. Sorry, guys.
All right. The Blood, Sweat, and Beers League. Let me write down this segment start time. Go ahead, Josh.
Hidden Oaks Overdose crushes Just Bears fan, 133.1 to 84.2. Sorry, buddy.
That's right.
No notes. Go on.
You kept making it sound like you had more to say, so I didn't want to say anything. But Check Balls, our lovely contributor and our lovely commissioner, beat Zero Girly Zero Cup 137-75. Serves him right for having a sham of a team name. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You change your team name, you'll start getting wins. That probably won't actually happen because your team's garbage. But
Jonos Burton beat Dalton Abbey 81.4 to 80.5 in the closest match of the week. Since it's the only Stinky Tinky, I'm just going to cover it now. If Dalton would have started Gallup over Kirk, both rookie wide receivers, he'd have won.
Just to be clear, that's Christian Kirk, in case anyone is confused.
Yep.
Cockdocker beats Erect Dicker in the phallus matchup of the week. Cockknocker beats him 95.4 to Erect Dicker's 63.8. I'm guessing Erect Dicker either had a bunch of injuries during the game or some bye-week woes, because that is a low score of 63.8.
Well, if you look at the note, Erect Dicker, his entire bench scored a total of 1.1 points. And then he had Shady and Sony go out after they combined for a total of like 3.4 points or 3.1 points.
So what you're saying is Erect Dicker's season is over.
I'm just saying Erect Dicker needs to go to the doctor to get one of those ED pills to prevent his Erect Dicker from receding into his body for how bad his team is.
There you go. Hims.com, folks. TD My Pants, that's a real website. Just saying. TD My Pants continues to dominate this league. He beats Fut Buckers 158.8 to 99.8. TD My Pants remains undefeated. The guy is unstoppable. Here's a not so hot take, Josh. TD My Pants is going to be in the fucking championship of this league.
Wow.
I know.
Hot take, he misses the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure he's with 7 wins. He's probably already guaranteed a playoff spot.
Yep. Alex Smith first round beat Brett Squared 117.2 to 71.6.
Is it Brett Squared or isn't it Brett and Brett technically?
Brett and Brett, but 2 plus 2 is 2 squared still.
Technically. But yeah, is 3 plus 3 squared?
We're not trying to get on with this math logic here.
I'm just saying, don't you lump in Brett Squared with the super original name of G Squared over here, okay? Don't lump them in just because they have a similar situation to us, okay? Me and Garrett are fucking original. These Brett guys are fucking
original?
posers. Don't you fucking worry about it, okay?
All right. Standings. TD My Pants, 7-0, cheating his way to the top. Hidden Oaks, the most loyal, trustworthy, friendly team in the planet, 6-1. That's us. Check My Balls, Dalton Abbey, 5-2. The Just Bears fan, 4-3. Futzbuckers, 3-4. That rounds off the playoff seeding so far. Alex Smith first round. Janos Burton, Cockknocker, all sitting at 3-4, kind of on the cusp. Erect Dicker, 2-5. Brett and Brett, 1-6. And Zero Girlies, Zero Cups, pulling a Kevin on us and going 0-7.
Yeah, not great for them, but I'll just keep saying your team name's a sham, so that's why you have no success. And your team was auto-drafted and it's had like 4 owners at this point, but
and
those
16 quarterbacks.
Those details don't matter. Yeah, Josh, do you have any other notes about the BSB League? I know we kind of talk about them the least, I feel, so if you have anything you want to add about the Slack, chit-chat, or anything about this league, now would be the time.
We had a stud-dud prediction that wasn't Eric's.
Did we?
Yeah.
When did it come in? Moments ago?
About noon 30, 5 o'clock P3. I don't know.
What the fuck did you just say? You just come on to me?
I don't know. I'm speaking walkie-talkie over here.
10-4, good buddy.
Check My Balls said he's skipping this week. I'm on vacation. Apparently it means that he's busier than usual.
Yep.
LOL. Mika, he said duds. My whole team.
It's true.
I don't know who Mika is. He has a Bengal and a Steeler in his photo. I'm going to go ahead and say he is...
Is one of them laying on the ground and one of them standing? That might give you some indication.
Well, it's Vontaze Burfict hitting Antonio Brown. I want to... I guess Check My Balls. His photo is Juju Smith-Schuster standing over Vontaze Burfict.
So, I don't know if you've ever paid attention to the fucking Slack or not, Josh, but those guys go back and forth with the Steelers and Bengals all the time.
So Mika is a...
Put it together here, buddy. You
Bengals
can do it.
Fan?
Hey! Not what gets past you, buddy.
So is he Dalton Abbey then?
I don't think so. He might be. I guess I
don't know.
don't pay attention to Slack, but I don't pay attention to anything anyways. I don't get notifications about Slack, so I only check in every so often. I could just turn it back on, but I'm what you would call a lazy motherfucker. So
Check My Ball says he's going to provide some live feed from the London game.
That's true.
Probably ripping cigs with Bortles on the sideline.
I'm going to be getting live updates about my Jags team upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles there, Josh.
Well, hang on. He claims to be a Steelers fan, but how do we know he's not like a Jaguar? Maybe that is Blake Bortles.
Wait, are you telling me Blake Bortles is the commissioner of our fantasy league?
It might explain his play on the field. Too busy worried about who he's throwing to because he's playing against him.
This is the greatest day of my life, Josh. I would honestly be so honored to meet the boat, and you're telling me I just did?
I think so.
Right?
Get it tattooed on your forehead. I'm a boat.
Just says Das Boat.
Das Boat. Tugboat. Choo-choo.
Yeah, I think, again, since we don't talk about them very much, I'll just throw in this one little note. I was looking into doing ad drops for the BSB League this week. I did not, but I saw that someone dropped Jordy Nelson. I was going to try and pick him up for us, but someone else had already picked him up. So that's just a little tidbit for, I guess, just you, Josh. I was going to try and get Jordy Nelson on our team, but he turned out to not be available. I was too slow.
So you're not White Lightning.
I am certainly not White Lightning, and I'm also not White Rice, so...
I love that nickname.
Yeah.
I really hope that sticks.
That would be cool.
Anyways, yeah, I really have nothing else to add. I like the BSB League. I enjoy turning Slack on every now and then to read some little fun facts and tidbits from them. I really like how panicked some of them are during the matchups. It reminds me of myself as a young lad, worried that I'm going to lose even though I'm up 15 and I have 3 guys left and they have 1. But
true.
then again, I've lost that kind of matchup before, so I have every reason to be afraid.
Certainly.
I just want to say thank you, Josh, for having us over at my house.
I mean, we've got a couple more things to talk about. I don't know if you're trying to outro the pod right now, but...
Multitask. You do one thing, I do the other.
How about not? Well, so first of all, I mean, that concludes Team Name Up. Darn it. Hi, Walters. So no, we wanted to talk about the side bet for just a moment here.
Watch your language in front of the lady, punk!
Sorry, Walters. But so yeah, the side bet from the Hidden Oaks Redraft League, we're rewinding again. Josh, the side bet last week was Mount Rushmore have the running back with the most rushing yards in the week. Do you recall who won off the top of your head?
Jamie did with Kerryon Johnson with a solid 158.
There you go. Jamie gets a nice and easy $5 foot long. So, Josh, this might take a couple minutes of discussion. What is the side bet this week?
Stay on target, closest to their projection totals.
All right, Josh, how the fuck are we going to govern this one?
Sunday morning? Thursday night? Oh, balls. No, I think if I can actually probably do it real quick right now. Great podcasting, me not being this thoughtful ahead of time. But ESPN, if you look at their team, you should be able to see, you should be able to go back to last week, and then it gives you their projected total.
Okay.
So my projection last week was 123.4, and I put up 95.5. Needless to say, I would struggle at winning this.
So you were a dud, some would say.
Oh, absolutely. Have you met me?
Yeah.
And so if we look at the week 6 recap, where we put our usual projections in, I might have changed some things around, but I was projected 122. On here it says 123.4. So it's pretty close. But granted, we could do that for all of the teams, it looks like. So I know I texted you in a panic or talked to you in a panic. And by panic, I mean not a panic whatsoever. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do it for every team. So last week, Nate was projected 114. He got 101. So yeah, I can just do it that way. We don't have to worry about it.
All right, so it has been decided.
Also, that is, I know that none of the Coon Rapids League listens to this, the Victoria's Secret, but I do know Walters does, as we've mentioned his name a couple times.
Oh, the beautiful
so
Walters.
Walters, you could pass that on to the Commissioner Tyler, because in case he didn't know that, that is a possibility. And I fully expect it to be in the group me chat at some point after you listen to the podcast.
I'm honestly surprised that that hasn't circulated your league already, because the Coon Rapids League seems to be more active in your guys' group chat, or at least from what I hear. Obviously, I'm not in it, but I'm surprised the controversy of how that's going to work hasn't already come up.
Well, I brought up the point that since my team is absolute dumpster fire worthy at this point in the season, even though I'm 3-4, I brought up if I benched everyone and I'm projected 0, do I still get it?
Would you bench everyone for $5?
If I'm guaranteed to get $5 by doing it, and I'm looking at my roster now and I'm thinking there's no chance I get 3rd place or 2nd place or 1st place, yeah, I'd make $5 back.
What if 2 people did that, Josh? So 2 people were projected 0 and got 0.
Well, 250 is still more than 0.
If the whole league did it, Everyone doesn't start anybody.
Then Monday night, I pick up a player and put him in, and I get a win.
I like that strategy.
But no, so that is not going to work for anybody in our league. Granted, I don't think anybody except Nikita, who listens to this podcast, knows
Your
about our
lovely,
side
beautiful
bets.
wife, Nikita, I might add.
Yes. I don't think anybody in our league knows about those side bets. So
Bradley asked. I hung out with Bradley recently, and again, he doesn't listen to this podcast. Or he used to. He listened like the first one, but he asked about the side bets, and he mentioned that he had not been paying attention, which I was not shocked in any way. But
yep. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Also, Walters, if you've listened this long to our podcast, we've shouted you out in every single one. Where's our shout out?
I think he's mentioned me the last couple weeks for sure.
Oh, thanks, bud.
All right, let's stop yelling into the fucking mic, please, because I don't go in and edit this.
But I'm upset, Garlic.
That's great, I guess, for you. But yeah, well, I mean, Walters doesn't shout out you because you're not. I mean, Walters talks about you every single week because you're in his fucking league. I am the one who gets graced with his. I get the honor of being mentioned by him. So that's what I'm saying. Walters talks about you every single week, multiple times a week. He talks about your matchup recap. He talks about your matchup preview, and then.
Oh, that's an S.
Yep. I'll
What
stop.
you going to eat a cheeseburger, you basketball-eating walrus-ass motherfucker?
It's okay to be upset, Josh. I'm just saying you're not looking at the facts. I'm
gonna take a pillowcase and fill it full of bars of soap and beat the shit out of you.
You're like trying to copy me right now with your truthiness thoughts over there, okay? And truthiness is reserved for me.
You are one pathetic loser.
Shut up, I know. Are you done with the sound clips now? Can we begin the outro of the show?
Yeah, we can.
Are you sure I have your permission?
Yep.
All right. Honestly, Josh, this didn't go as long as I thought. We're only at 1:15. I think we've had another podcast about this long, so it's not terrible.
Have the booze out, have a mint.
Did that cut out on you?
It did cut out, yeah. There's no good to go.
Well, you know what they say.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, okay, well, the Vikings are terrible.
Just hit it.
I'm saying,
That was not the right
have a
one.
mint.
They didn't even say craft the booze out. That sound clip is broken. All right, so I'm going to take away Josh's keyboard here in a second. He took his headphones out, so hopefully he's done.
There's a bunch of losers in Minnesota.
He thinks he's clever. Anyways, Odin just fucking knocked his head on that table. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this longer than normal podcast. We rambled a lot there at the beginning. Again, don't forget to engage the show if you want. I think it'd make it more fun for all of us. But hiddenokesoverdose@gmail.com or our Facebook page, or you can text me personally, I guess. But it's always nicer when I can funnel all that communication. Get the fuck out of here, Josh. You're not even on the show anymore. But anyways. So yeah, thanks again to our lovely listeners. Nikita, I was about to say Nikita Bunker. That would have been wrong. Nikita Mitchell, thank you so much for listening and for being awesome. Jamie Morset, Ryan Walters, Eric Sequestrian, Eric Landvik, Jordan Bates sometimes maybe. And yeah, I think that's about it. So Josh, thank you for having me. You're no longer on the mic, but thank you anyways.
Welcome.
He came back just to say that. All right, folks. Super effort. Ugh. C- protection. That's generous. We're passing. That's above a 70%. What are we gonna do about next week? Leave all this stuff here, and you can do it with whoever. One of us can do it. You can also sit and ponder it if you want, but okay. The only thing I bet. The only thing I can say is if you do decide you want to do it the same, or we do it in a fashion that I need the equipment, if I leave it here tonight, then you'd have to bring it to work like Friday morning so I can get it from you. So you know. All right. Say Kentucky. I said Kentucky. Oh, it sounded like Kentucky.